Economics, Standard 12, Unit 11, Economics of Development and Planning. Let us learn today Economics Planning in India. Planning is a technique, a means to an end, being the realization of certain predetermined and well-defined aims and objectives laid down by a central planning authority. The end may be to achieve economic, social, political, or military objectives. In his words of Robbins, economic planning is collective control or suppression of private activities of production and exchange. Dalton says, economic planning in the widest sense is the deliberate direction by persons in charge of large resources of economic activity towards chosen ends. Economic plan in India consists of economic decisions, schemes formed to meet certain predetermined economic objectives and a roadmap of directions to achieve specific goals within specific period of time. The current thinking of economic planning is fairly new, somewhat rooted in Marxist socialism. Soviet Union first adopted economic planning for the first time in 1928. So in 1928, Soviet Union adopted economic planning and merged as a superpower industrial, that is an industrial superpower country. The idea of economic planning was strengthened after the Great Depression in 1930. So 1930, Great Depression. So after the Great Depression, the economic planning was strengthened. It was strengthened more after the Second World War. The Second World War broke out in 1939 and just came to an end only in 1945. So 1939 to 1945, Second World War. Second World War also strengthened the economic planning. India became independent in 1947. In 1948, after the independence of India declared that is industrial policy, which was announced. And on January 26, 1950, the Indian Constitution came into force. So Planning Commission was just formed on March 15, 1950. And the planning came to effect on April 1st, 1951. As a result, the first 5-year plan was implemented in 1951 to 56. And we know there were so many 5-year plans too. The evolution of planning in India is also very important. The first attempt in laying foundation for economic planning in India was made by Sir M. Visvesvaraya in 1934. Sir M. Visvesvaraya. He was an engineer and politician. He made the first attempt in economic planning. He wrote a book in 1934, Planned Economy of India. and there he just brought out the economic planning. It was a 10-year plan. In 1938, Jawaharlal Nehru set up National Planning Commission by a committee, but due to the changes in the political era and Second World War, it did not materialize. So Jawaharlal Nehru in 1938 set up National Planning Commission. Jawaharlal Nehru. In 1938, he set up National Planning Commission, but it was not materialized. And in 1940, 8 leading industrialists of Bombay presented Bombay Plan. It was a 15-year investment plan. So, in 1940, Bombay Plan, which was presented by 8 leading industrialists of Bombay. And in 1944, S.N. Agarwal gave the Gandhian plan, focusing on the agricultural and rural economy. So S.N. Agarwal in 1944 presented Gandhian plan, and M.N. Roy drafted People's Plan in 1945. M.N. Roy drafted People's Plan. In 1945. And of course, it was aiming at mechanization of agricultural production and distribution by the state only. And J.P. Narayanan in 1950 advocated Sarvodaya Plan, which was inspired by Gandhian plan and with the idea of Vinoba Bhave. Inspired by Gandhian plan and with the idea of Vinoba Bhave, J.P. Narayanan in 1950 advocated Sarvodaya Plan, and it gave importance not only for agriculture but encouraged small and cottage industries in the plan. Not only agriculture was encouraged, but also small and cottage industries were also encouraged in his plan, J.P. Narayanan in 1950. After considering all the plans given by Sir M. Visvesvaraya and plan given by Jawaharlal Nehru himself, and then Bombay Plan in 1940, S.N. Agarwal Plan in 1944 based on Gandhian Plan, giving more importance to agriculture and rural economy. And in 1945, M.N. Roy drafted the People's Plan, giving more importance on mechanization of agriculture production and distribution by the state only. And J.P. Narayanan, that is, advocated Sarvodaya Plan, which was inspired by Gandhian plan and the idea of Vinoba Bhave, giving more importance to not only agriculture but also small and cottage industries. After considering all these plans, in the same year, Planning Commission was set up to formulate 5-year plan in India by Jawaharlal Nehru. He was the first chairman of Planning Commission, Government of India. Jawaharlal Nehru became the first chairman of Planning Commission. In 1951 to 56, the first 5-year plan was implemented, and it gave more importance to agriculture, and the second 5-year plan on industries, and so on. Let us continue learning case for planning and the types of planning in the next class. Thank you for listening.